You know that feeling, right? When you're trying to learn something big, something new, and it just feels overwhelming.
Yeah, like standing at the bottom of a huge mountain.
Exactly. Generative AI can definitely feel like that mountain range of information. But what if there was a better way to tackle it? Not just climb, but really understand.
That's pretty much what we're exploring today on the deep dive.
We are, and we're taking a bit of an unusual angle, actually.
We're looking at David Ogilvy, the advertising legend.
Right. Specifically his idea of divine discontent, this refusal to accept good enough.
And we're pairing that with the Gen AI Level Up podcast series, which is this structured 10-level journey into generative AI.
So the mission today is basically showing how Ogilvy's relentless drive can actually help you get a much deeper understanding of Gen AI using that podcast framework.
It sounds a bit strange at first, maybe. Ogilvy and AI.
Yeah, what does a madman know about machine learning, right? But his ideas, like in The Eternal Pursuit of Unhappiness, they weren't just about ads, they were about excellence, period.
He had that quote, didn't he? Don't be so easily happy with yourself.
Yes, I love that. It's so direct, and it hits right at the core of what you need for learning something complex like AI.
And that other one about quality.
Ah.
Don't ever, ever allow a single scrap of rubbish out of the agency. Imagine applying that level of rigor to your own learning. Wow.
Well, it connects directly, I think, because with Gen AI, it's really easy to, scratch the surface, play with a tool, think, okay, got it.
Right.
Done. Next.
But divine discontent pushes you. It asks, okay, but how does it work? What are the real mechanics underneath? Can you actually explain it?
It's about fighting that complacency. So you come across, say, neural networks, which is fundamental, right? Level 1 in the Gen AI Level Up series.
The absolute foundation, basically computational systems inspired by brain neurons.
Yeah.
Like a web of decision points.
You could just take that definition and, tick the box. But Ogilvy's mindset makes you ask, well, how are they built? How do they learn? What can't they do?
Exactly. And that's where having a structure like the Gen AI Level Up podcast really helps. It forces that deeper engagement level by level.
So it starts with those neural networks.
Yep, level 1. Then level 2 gets into generative models versus discriminative models. So creating new stuff versus classifying existing stuff. It builds logically.
That makes sense. You don't jump ahead. You build the foundation first, resisting the urge to just, get to the flashy bits.
It's embodying that continuous improvement Ogilvy talked about.
He also talked about fear, didn't he? Something about it being the main enemy.
Yeah, if fear is our principal adversary, then courage is our chief ally. And let's face it, diving into the technical side of AI, it can be scary.
Totally. New language, math. It feels intimidating.
But that's where the courage comes in. The courage to say, I don't get this yet, to ask the stupid question.
Which Ogilvy encouraged, asking stupid questions.
He did. And the podcast, by breaking things down into these levels, kind of lowers that fear barrier, I think. It gives you a path.
It's a supportive structure. Makes it less like being thrown in the deep end. Okay, so we have discontent driving deeper understanding, courage to face the complexity. What else from Ogilvy applies?
Curiosity. Definitely curiosity. He had that great line about the universe being queerer than we imagine. It is queerer than we can imagine.
Huh. Yeah, that fits AI perfectly. It's always changing, always surprising us.
You absolutely need that curious mindset to keep up. You can't just learn something once and think you're done.
And the podcast helps there too.
Well, yeah, because it covers such a range of cool stuff. Like level 4 digs into Jan's generative adversarial networks.
Ah, the competing AI models, one generating, one judging.
Precisely. That whole adversarial process is fascinating, and it leads to amazing results. Exploring topics like that naturally sparks curiosity, pushes you to learn more than just the basics.
Okay, and one more big Ogilvy theme. Persistence.
Oh, yeah. Never give in. Never give in. Never give in. Churchill, but Ogilvy loved it.
And you need that for learning AI, for sure. Some concepts, they just don't click immediately.
You'll hit walls. Maybe understanding backpropagation in neural networks, or how attention mechanisms work in transformers. It can be tough.
So that's when you channel Ogilvy.
Yeah. If one explanation in, say, a Gen AI Level Up episode isn't landing, don't just give up. Find another explanation. Use the extra resources they mentioned. Try a different angle.
Like his advice for when a client kills your ad. Do him a better one. Same principle for learning. If one approach fails, find a better one for yourself.
Exactly. It's that active refusal to quit.
So let's bring it together. How does someone listening right now practically use Ogilvy's mindset with the Gen AI Level Up podcast?
Well, first, embrace the structure itself. The 10 levels are divine discontent in action, always another level, always deeper. From neural nets in level 1 through things like VAEs.
Variational autoencoders, right. Heard of those. Level 3.
Yep, another type of generative model. And then later levels get into transformers, the architecture behind large language models. It's a progressive build.
So don't just listen passively. Apply Ogilvy standards. After an episode, say on VAEs, actually stop and ask yourself, okay, could I explain this? What did I really get? Where am I still fuzzy?
That's it. That's the no rubbish standard applied to your brain.
Yeah.
And use the curiosity prompt. The podcast mentions a concept. Look it up. Follow the resource links. Ask how it connects.
And the candor part, being honest with yourself.
Crucial. If you're shaky on, I don't know, level 5's topic on diffusion models, which are super important now for image generation.
Right, like stable diffusion, mid-journey.
Exactly. If you're shaky, admit it, go back, re-listen, find another source. Ogilvy believed truth builds trust. And that includes trusting yourself enough to admit what you don't know.
So it's about aiming higher than just basic familiarity. Ogilvy talked about raising your sights, competing with the immortals. Maybe for us, it's competing for real, deep understanding.
I like that. It's not just about knowing about Gen AI, but truly understanding it. And that takes that relentless Ogilvy-style push.
He also had those 8 habits of highly creative communities, didn't he? Do they fit in?
Some definitely do, I think.
Right.
Like idealism, aiming to use this powerful AI knowledge for something meaningful.
Or playfulness, just experimenting with the tools and models without being scared to mess up.
Yeah, and intuition. Trusting your gut about where this tech could go, what problems it might solve. Free-spiritedness, too, being open to weird ideas, learning in unconventional ways.
It all fits together, really. This mindset of pushing boundaries, being curious, persistent, honest.
Combined with a solid learning path like the Gen AI Level Up series, it's a powerful combination for tackling something as big as generative AI.
So if you're listening and you feel that sort of discontent with just knowing the headlines about AI, if you want to go deeper,
then embracing that Ogilvy spirit and checking out the Gen AI Level Up podcast could be a really great next step.
Yeah, you can find it wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, all the usual places.
And as you start that journey, or maybe continue it, keep that Ogilvy thought in your head.
Which one?
The no rubbish one. Ask yourself, what rubbish, what surface level understanding or misconception am I ready to throw out in my quest for real Gen AI mastery?
Ooh, that's a good one. A provocative thought to end on. What are you settling for, and are you ready to demand better from yourself?
Exactly. Time to level up.